Hey everybody, you're tuned in to 91.8 The Fan, and this is Kana's Corner, and I have a very special guest in the corner with me today. I have Karen Strassmen. Thank you so much for coming today. We love it.
Thanks, Kana. Hi, everybody.
And I was really interested. I noticed in more of your recent roles that you've been more into the acting in the actual bigger movies and whatnot.
Um, that's true, although what most people don't know is that I've been acting for 20 years. I lived in France for 15 years, and when I was there, I did a lot of French television and French movies. I did, I worked with Gérard Depardieu. I did a film with Polanski. I've been acting. I've been acting in TV and movies, actually on camera, for about 20 years. But fans know me from anime and video games and things like that. But I've been. Oh, I don't know. 5, 6 years ago, I was on the Gilmore Girls. I've done. I just did. I just was in Monk. I was recently in Desperate Housewives. I just have an episode of Criminal Minds that's coming out soon. I'm in a really, really fun show. I have a very small role, but there's a really fun kind of teenage show that's coming out called Big Time Rush. And my boyfriend has a series regular role in there. He plays a character named Griffin. And I got to be on that show, and that's a really fun show. It's about a boy band.
That
Um,
sounds really interesting, actually.
yeah. No, I've been on House. I've been on Big Love. I've had a lot of fun TV and film roles. It's just the fans know me more from anime. They
Well,
know me more from my voice than my TV appearances.
I have to wonder, how did you go from acting in France to anime? That seems like a pretty big leap.
Well, in France, I also did a tremendous amount of voiceover. Um, they had a lot of projects in France, and I didn't do so much anime because in France, the anime that they do, they dub in. If they're going to dub it in France, they'll dub it into French. But I did a lot of animated series there and a lot of original animation there. And I did a lot of video games there. They have, I guess it's Ubisoft that is originally a French company, I think, and they have a big company there. And I did a lot of stuff for them when I was there. And, there's video games like Atlantis and Dune, real oldies. Atlantis, The Lost Tale, and Dune, and Omicron, Nomad Soul, um, Outcast, I think. There's a whole bunch of video games that aren't necessarily on my IMDb, but that were done in France. And for 15 years in France, I worked in TV and in film and in voiceover. I did a lot of voiceover commercials there. I did commercials for L'Oreal and Lancome. And sometimes they were in French with an American accent, and sometimes they were in English. And I did all kinds of stuff there. I had a very, very exciting and sort of blessed life there.
That sounds actually very interesting. I'm sure a lot of people would be jealous that you got to see that sort of the world and whatnot. But would you say that video games sort of led you to an anime gig?
Um, Not really. What led me to anime was when I decided that I wanted to move to Los Angeles from Paris, I started hooking up with people. I started networking, and there is a very, very wonderful, huge, enormous-hearted, and wise voiceover actress named Mona Marshall, who you all probably know very well, who does a lot of anime, and she's known from little boys. And a friend of a friend introduced me to Mona Marshall and said, Mona does a lot of voiceover, and I know you do, you guys should talk. And I guess Mona heard some stuff that I did, and she said, you're really good. Let me introduce you to some people. And one of the first people she introduced me to was Eric Sherman at Bang Zoom. And he right, went in and auditioned for him, and he cast me right away. And I think my first anime director was Wendy Lee. And I don't remember what my first anime series was, but I think my second one might have been X.
Oh, wow, very
Um,
nice.
let's see if I can X.
I,
And I did. Let's see.
I can understand how it's hard to remember from so long ago since you do have so many projects, which is
Yeah.
very nice to be working.
But what happened was I started working with Bang Zoom right away, and they were lovely to me. They just embraced me and just started hiring me on. It seemed to me like every project. And then I started working for Jonathan Klein at New Generation. And I think my first project with him was I My Me Strawberry Eggs. And and then we just went on to, oh gosh, X was late on the game. What did I do? I'm looking at my IMDb now. I haven't looked at this for a long time. Um, How do you know Chigu? How do you Guru I did with Bang Zoom. Figure 17 I did with Bang Zoom. Cosmo Warrior Zero. Let's
Now,
see. Then I did. Yeah. Go ahead.
I do have to wonder, we've actually been talking about Bang Zoom quite a lot this week due to a recent blog post they've put up. Would you
Yeah.
say they're a wonderful company? Would you say you've had very good experiences with them?
Bang Zoom has been incredibly generous to me. They, from the moment I came into town, they, I guess, they thought I was very talented. I guess I don't know if I am or not, but they did. And they've been very, very generous. I mean, because we're doing this interview, I've pulled up IMDb and I'm going, wow, I did this and this and this and this. They've just, they've treated me like family, and they've been just lovely to me. And I do think what Jonathan Klein has written, I think it's, I'm sorry, Eric Sherman wrote is very, very true. Um, Both Jonathan and Eric were very generous to me, by the way. But what Eric Sherman wrote is very true. Um, we can't continue to do animes if nobody pays for it, because
Exactly, and I don't want to bring up something that is controversial, but it's been the talk of
okay,
the town, you could say, and we've been trying to point out the alternatives. You know, there's Hulu, there's Juiced, there's the legal streaming, and I think a lot of people are sort of ignoring that factor.
yeah, yeah. I think it's just sort of simple. If they want us to continue to do it, and they want to continue to enjoy the product, they need to contribute to paying for it. You know,
Yeah, I definitely agree.
otherwise, I mean, we can't do it for free. We can't afford to. You know, the companies can't do it for free. Um, so it's a business and it's a product, and it's just people do need to pay for it. Otherwise, everybody will go out of business, and people will just have to watch Japanese dubs, and we won't be able to make English dubs.
I will have to say though that it must be at least a decent time for you because you have so many facets of talents. You know, you're not just singled out to anime. You also do the video games and the on-camera work. So have you felt the economy at all?
I am so lucky and so blessed. I've been fine. I've been fine, and it's true that I do a lot of different things. I also do revoicing and ADR and looping for films. Something that the fans might enjoy to know that not everybody knows is um, I I do a voice on Lost, the TV show Lost. In the original pilot, there um, they find a walkie-talkie. When they finally get the walkie-talkie to work, there's a French woman's voice on the walkie-talkie, and that turns out to be the French character who's in the TV show. But before they even cast her, they needed someone to do that French voice, and And I recorded that voice with J.J. Abrams when they were just doing the pilot. And that voice, that French voice in that walkie-talkie keeps coming back. So I do other voices for TV shows like Lost, and a whole list of TV shows. And that's really fun to do too. So I'm very, very lucky because I do a lot of different things, and I'm just a lucky gal.
I have to agree. And it's very interesting, though, that you actually get to publish yourself and advertise yourself as being someone who knows French and can use that to your advantage. That must also open a lot of doors for you.
It does. It does. I've had some fun jobs because I speak French. But I think the Gilmore Girls job I was mentioning, I played a French maid, and it was a very funny scene. And I get hired either to act in French or to do the French accent. I did a French accent for an anime show, Fantine, for, oh, you guys probably know that show.
Would it be
Um,
IGPX? I know that's one
yes,
of them.
yes, yes.
Oh. It's amazing that I remember that.
Well, it's good that you remembered it before me.
Well, no, I think that's actually very interesting because it proves that you can give something very authentic to a show.
Yeah, yeah, and it's fun. It's a fun element to bring.
Definitely, I agree. And for everybody out there, we're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we will talk even more about where you can catch her works as well as her upcoming conventions if you have any. So keep it tuned to 91.8 Fan, everything you want, nothing you don't.
91.8thefan.com. Have you logged on today?
Who, me? No. No?
iStock's daily news show, video reviews, articles, forums, in an anime directory. Don't get left behind. Log in today. Only on
918thefan.com?
918thefan.com.
All right, 918thefan.com.
Hey everybody, you're tuned in to 91.8 The Fan. This is Kana, and you're in my corner. And I also have Karen Strassmen in my corner as well. Thank you so much for continuing to be here, and I haven't scared her off.
Thank you, Kana.
And I would like to say, behind the break, we were actually talking about one of the projects you, I believe, recently did, which was Monster, correct?
Yes.
And now, can you tell us a little bit about this series?
Well, I was just telling you off air. Monster, I think it's my favorite show that I've ever done of all the anime of the 10 years of anime that I've done. It's so well done, and it's one of these shows that it's not the it's not the wild and crazy TNA it's silly anime. It's a real sort of almost like I don't know how you describe it. It's drama. It's drama, and it's a thriller, and the characters are so well written, and it's like you're watching a movie, and you get so involved with them, and there's so many twists and turns in the plot, and and I think for an English dub, it is just so well done. I mean, there's so many talented actors in there. I mean, Liam O'Brien is awesome, and just so many talented actors. And what I loved about it is you really get to act. It's like when Anna/Nina, when things happen to her and when she really cries or really gets upset. I mean, I was in the booth bawling, or quaking. I mean, I wasn't pretending. I really went there with her, and I just loved it. Patrick Seitz is a fantastic director, and it's just I really recommend anybody who wants to see it. You'll get hooked, I think, because you just want to keep on watching it. But it's a great show.
Now, I believe for our listeners out
That's
there,
what I have to say about Monster. Sorry?
if you, no, it's okay. If you have Sci-Fi, I believe you can watch it on Sci-Fi right now.
Yeah, I think so. I've forgotten exactly what time. I think it's 11 a.m. or something like that on Sci-Fi. I'm not sure. Oh, no, my other show is on Sci-Fi at 11 a.m., I think.
Yeah,
I have
I think
one show
it's
called
on.
Huntic, which is on Sci-Fi as well, I
Oh, I
think,
see.
or on some show. I don't know. You'd know better than me.
I actually don't have cable, so I'm pretty bad at what's on TV. But will say that with this show, it seems that it is very big drama, and it must have been very interesting to work on something that makes you cry. And I can't imagine how good it must be if you can say it's one of your favorites. I always hear for voice actors that's like picking one of their children who's their favorite.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I just loved it. I was so sad when it ended, and yeah, it was so well written and so well done. And there's talk of them making it into a live action feature film at some point, which would be very cool.
And maybe you could be your character in the live action. That would be very awesome.
That would be cool. I don't know if I'm young enough because she's pretty young, but it's an amazing role, and that would be very, very cool.
Now, was it
Yeah.
interesting working with Patrick, who was, I believe, directing or writing?
Patrick is wonderful. We had a great time together, and the show went on for so long. We recorded it in over a year span time. I think a year and a half or something, and we just both kind of got to know each other so well in terms of directing and acting that he we were just kind of vibing, and I knew what he wanted, and um, it was a lot of fun to work with him. We had a great time.
And now, I believe the first volume of that just came out, if I remember. So, for those out there who are listening, we'll make sure to link it to you in the archive interview. But you might want to search for that and buy that. Just a thought.
Yeah, I really recommend it. It's such a great show.
And now, something so drama driven like that, is it sort of fun for you to let out all your emotions and cry and yell, or is it more taxing?
Oh, it's fantastic. It's so much fun. That's what actors. Jodie Foster once said, "The job of an actor is to." I don't know if it's her exact quote, but the job of the actor is to produce powerful emotion on demand, and that's why we're actors, and that's what we love to do. You know, it is fun. I mean, it's at the end of the session, you're tired and everything, but it's like a roller coaster ride. It's
And you
really.
must have passion for it.
Yeah, I do. I do. I have so much passion for it.
Now, I do have to wonder, do you get to see the fans at any conventions ever?
I don't do too many conventions. I guess I'm more of a recluse. Um, Also, just because I'm doing a lot of other things, um, I just don't travel as much for conventions because I'm working on other projects or auditions or stuff. But occasionally I'll go. Occasionally I'll show up. I might do one or two this year. I'm not sure where I'll show up or what I'll do, but I'll just show up from time to time.
Do the fan reactions ever surprise you? How do you feel about that?
I'm just I'm just really moved by it. Um, I'm really moved that they that my work has made some kind of impression, and that I'm moved by their enthusiasm. I'm very, very moved that they know stuff that I've done better than I do, and that I never expected any of that. I do what I do because I love it, and the attention and the letters and emails and things that I've gotten, and it's I feel sort of humbled by it because I'm just I'm just a silly person. I'm not. Um, my acting teacher Steve Easton says, we're all just bozos on the bus, and I don't think that there's anything that I'm just a human being. So I'm sort of humbled that people, you know, like what I do.
Well, if
And
it makes you feel better, I think we're all sort of silly here.
and it makes me happy to do something that provides entertainment and As an actor, I think one of the things that why I became an actor is the idea of traveling, and I think when I go to the movies, really good actors, through their own human experiences, you kind of get to travel. You leave the present moment where you are and you come someplace else with them. And whether it's like someplace dramatic or tragic or exciting or just silly and funny, it's really cool to be able to do that,
Oh, definitely.
create worlds for people.
It's sort of interesting the way you say it because, if you feel you're traveling to a place, as an actor, then definitely the people who are playing, watching, seeing, whatever it is, listening, will feel that they're escaping, the modern world, which I think is very
Yeah,
important.
yeah. That's what I like to hope.
And now I'm wondering, is there any other projects coming up that you can talk about or tell us about, or nothing set in stone?
Um, well, I have an episode of Criminal Minds, um, where I play a very, very unhappy character. And that's coming up on May 12th. I think my character shows up near to the end of the episode, but that's very dramatic, and that might be fun for people to watch. I have a couple video games coming up, but right now in video games, we have to sign non-disclosure agreements and
Right,
promise
we
not
know
to
about
talk about them.
those.
And so all of the video games that I'm involved with right now, I'm very excited about some of them, and I'm not allowed to talk about them. So, and there's some things that have been really fun, and I've been doing motion capture for some of them, which is really fun.
Oh, that
Um,
must be.
yeah, mocap is great. Mocap is really fun.
And
Um,
now,
so, so I, so yeah.
oh, I'm just curious, is there a place where we can see what upcoming projects you're doing since you can't tell us now?
Um, well, it shows. I know once they're completed and out there, it shows up on IMDb. I think there are certain video game sites that once these things are produced and everything, they go online. Um, but I guess people will just sort of have to hunt them down a little bit. As soon as I can say something about them, I'll put them up on my list of credits on my website. I need to update that. I haven't updated that for like 2 years. I think I should do that.
And your website is
Um,
just your name, correct?
yes, yes, and that's just my voiceover website. Um, and then for the rest of the stuff, one can go to IMDb. Again, if I get things together at some point, maybe I'll do a bigger website with everything on it. But,
I know the wave right now is
um,
Facebook and Twitter.
yeah. I'm still not on Facebook yet. Like I said, I'm sort of a recluse. I'm not, but I think at some point I'll do that, and I'll have a fan site on Facebook, and people can touch base with me there if they want to.
And is there
So,
anything else you want to tell our listeners out there?
um, gosh, I'll probably hang up the phone and think of 10 things I could have said. Um, um, I think I just want to express my gratitude for everybody's support and enthusiasm about what we do, and I always want to encourage people to, you know, really listen to the things that they love the most and the things that they care the most about in their heart, and really encourage people to follow their dreams, because that's what I did. There are things that oh, I love and that are really important to me, and I just follow those. And I'd really encourage people to do that, and with care and passion.
Well, we will make sure that our listeners remember that and I'll ingrain it into their skulls. And I was wondering before we let you go if you'd be willing to participate in a 91.8 The Fan tradition.
That sounds like fun. Yes.
Oh, awesome. We ask everybody who comes on if they'd be willing to do a bump for us.
Do a what?
Do a bump, basically say a line for us.
Absolutely.
Awesome. And you can do it in your voice or a character's voice or whatever you're feeling like at the time. But we were basically wondering if you could say, we do this live on air for bloopers, but we were wondering if you could say, my name is, I do this, and you're tuned into 91.8 The Fan.
All right. My
You
name is
ready?
Karen Strassmen. Oh, you have to tell me when.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was wondering if you were writing it down in the background. I apologize. Whenever you're ready.
Tell me again because I remembered it and I was about to say it. Now I just forgot it.
Oh, I apologize. It's my name is, I do this, and you're tuned into 91.8 The Fan.
All right.
All right, whenever you're ready.
My name is Karen Strassman. I am an actress and voiceover actress, and you are tuned in to 91. I can't even say it. This is what we do. No, but this is exactly what we do in the booth. So this is great because I don't know if we're still on the air, but this
We
is
are,
great
yes.
because I'm so glad. But I'm so glad I goofed up because people think that we're great and we're perfect, and we're not. Like sometimes there's something really easy to say, and we like today I was in the booth doing an audition, and there was this one word. I think it was for a commercial. It was ripe. And I kept saying wipe, like with a W because of the word before it. But it's like, we're like I was trying to be smooth and cool, and I wasn't. I get screwed up. But that's really important that people know that we're just people, and we do 5 retakes of things sometimes. Sometimes I get really lucky, and I get it right on the first take, and we move on right away. But lots of times we mess it up, and we have to do it 5 times.
Well, that's the magic is you
So.
can laugh about it.
No, you have to because this is what we do every day, and and I expect when I expect when I step into the booth that most lines I'll probably have to redo for one reason or another, either because I flubbed something or just because the sound needs to be right, or and it's just part of what we do. We just each line we take a couple takes to make it better, and if it comes out good on the first one, then we move on to the next one.
Oh,
So
definitely.
that's really fun that happened. All right, I'm gonna try and be smooth and cool one more time.
All
Let's see
right.
if it works. My name is Karen Strassman, and I am a voiceover actress, and you are tuned in to 91.8 The Fan.
Ooh, that was smooth and cool.
There you go.
I think people will enjoy that sexy bump, and thank you so much for being on the show. We really appreciated it.
Thanks so much.
And for everybody out there, if you missed any of this interview, shame on you, but it will be up on the site in a few days, so keep it tuned to your favorite station, 91.8 The Fan. Everything you want, nothing you don't.